Hello, my friends. Fred and I are back with another book. He's looking over there at my husband. My husband's in the kitchen, and he thinks that he's eating, and he wants some. Look at him. He put his food down. All right, so today I have a very special book. It is called Being Wendy, and it is by Fran Drescher and illustrated by Amy Blay. And I'm pretty sure that Fran Drescher is the name of the actress that played in The Nanny. Your mamas might know that show. Or your grandmamas. That's a TV show way back when. Alright. So, let's sing our song. You ready? Front, cover, back. Cover front, cover back, cover front, cover back, cover title page. The author writes the words, the illustrator draws the pictures. Front, cover back, cover front, cover back, cover front, cover back, cover title page. Alright, so this book has a paper on the outside, so you know I gotta take that off. But it doesn't have the same cover as the paper does. It just has Wendy. On the front, she has a box. She has a box with a question mark. So Wendy is a little girl that lives in a place called Boxville. And in Boxville, everybody has a box that they wear on top of their clothes. It's like a cardboard box. And on that box is what they are going to be when they grow up, or what their job is. And so if you notice, Wendy has a question mark on her box because she doesn't know what she wants to be. And she feels a little out of place because everybody else has something on their box and she doesn't. So even the dogs and the birds and the cats and the animals have something on their box, but Wendy has a question mark. So let's find out what Wendy does. Okay? Alright, so here's a dedication page. It says, to my parents who always encouraged my originality and made me feel I could do anything. Excuse me. Deep in a valley sits the tiny town of Boxville. And all the people who live there fit very comfortably in the boxes they wear. So here's a map of Boxville. As she did every Monday morning, Wendy Starbright walked to school. Wendy said hello to Officer Miranda Wrights, who wore her police officer's box with pride as she directed traffic. She smiled at Willie Walking-Poop as he held on tightly to many leashes. And Wendy stared at the beautiful Bella fashionista, the dress shop owner, as she unlocked the door to her fancy store. So the police officer has police officer on her box. I'm assuming it's going to have dog walker written on his box, but we can't see the front. And then back there is the fashionista. Even the dogs have something written on their box. So you got a dash hound, and a Jack Russell, and a poodle, and a chihuahua, and a mutt, and a basset hound. Fred, you're in the book. You're blue in here with a little hat. You look cute. At school, Wendy's teacher, Miss Read and Write, wrote on the blackboard in perfect penmanship. Wendy looked around the classroom and saw that all the students were happy wearing the boxes they had chosen. Hope's box said doctor because she knew she wanted to cure sick people. Joe's box said soldier because he wanted to protect people. And Candy's box said baker because she loved sweets. But Wendy didn't want to be labeled anything at all. She wiggled in her box. If only she could take it off. Why did she have to wear this boring brown box anyway? Would you like to have to walk around wearing a cardboard box all the time? If think it would be very uncomfortable. Wendy was full of ideas. She loved to do lots and lots of things. How could she possibly pick one to put on her box? Wendy loved to play her guitar and shoot hoops. Should her box say guitarist? Or maybe basketball player? Or, oh, thought Wendy, how will I ever choose just one box? She was afraid to say out loud that she felt different from everyone else. Just after dinner that night, Wendy asked her mom, "Do you ever wish you weren't wearing your mom box?" Her mom laughed. "Don't be silly. I love being a mom." "But don't you ever wish you could wear another box sometimes?" Wendy asked her mom. Wendy's mom smiled. "In life, we must make choices, and mine was to be a mom." Wendy knew she wanted to wear lots of different boxes because she had so many interests. She dreamed of traveling the world and seeing exotic sights. She had big plans. But her mom has mom on her box. And that's her dreaming of all the places she wants to go. She imagined herself meeting with foreign leaders, working for world peace. She thought about running marathons. Sometimes she wanted to be a great writer. Wendy even dreamed of being a famous actress. How could she do all those exciting things if she had to wear just one box? She couldn't. So her box there says diplomat. Right here it says athlete because this is her running a marathon. I guess it would say writer there. And then right here it says actress. The biggest rule in Boxville was she had to choose a box and stay in it. But now Wendy had an idea. Alright, so it says the Boxville way is to choose a box for the rest of your days. On Wednesday morning, Wendy Starbright left her house before her parents could see her, without putting on her box. Out on the street, Wendy caused quite a stir. Officer Miranda Wright blew her whistle, but Wendy kept walking. Willie Walking Poop's dogs barked and howled, but Wendy kept walking. And Bella Fashionista covered her eyes, but Wendy kept walking. So there she is with no box. And look at all these people with boxes on. Looking at her like she's crazy. Or like she's naked. So we got a nurse, a banker, a teacher, a clerk, a balloon seller, a florist, and then the other people that we saw earlier. At school, the kids laughed and pointed at Wendy. Even her friends didn't understand. They all made her feel weird, like she didn't belong. Miss Reed and Wright sent Wendy to the principal's office for violating the town's biggest rule. "Why can't you just choose a box like everyone else, Wendy?" she said with disappointment. And look, she made Wendy write on the board. It says, "I must wear my box at all times. I must wear my box at all times. I must wear my box at all times. I must wear my box at all times." So she got in trouble for not wearing her box. But have you ever felt like Wendy? Like you just don't know what you want to do when you grow up? It's okay to be like that. We'll talk about that in a little bit more in a little bit. The principal called Wendy's father. As soon as her dad arrived, Wendy burst into tears and ran into his arms. But as always, his box got in the way. So she couldn't even hug her dad because of his box. If I couldn't hug my dad because of a cardboard box, I'd tell him to take the cardboard box off. On the walk home, Wendy told her dad the truth. "I know everyone in Boxville likes wearing their boxes, but I don't. You just haven't found the right box yet." But you'll find the one that fits, said Wendy's dad. Thanks, Wendy said with a weak smile. But I know in my heart that one box will never be enough for me. Well, think it over, said Wendy's dad. And please get back inside your box to do that. Look at the people talking about her. Wendy tried to take her dad's advice, but the more she thought about it, the more she hated thinking inside the box. She would never fit in at school, at home, or in Boxville. Being different was lonely, but she couldn't be any other way. She was different. Wendy ripped off her box once more. She took a deep breath and went downstairs to try talking to her parents again. Look, Miss Bonaparte's going down the stairs with her. I'm glad that Miss Bonaparte doesn't have a box on either. Maybe she'll help Wendy feel better. Her whole family was in the kitchen, but something was very different about them. They were out of their boxes. What's going on? Wendy asked. Well, we did some thinking, too, and decided that you're right, said her mom. You're a very special girl, Wendy, said her dad. You have a lot of different talents that make you, you, and that's a good thing. You should do anything and everything you want. We all should. Wendy smiled her biggest smile. Look, even the dog took his box off. Later that day, the whole Starbright family left the house without their boxes. Wendy happily waved to her Boxville neighbors. She was unique, special, and proud of it. So her family's out there grilling, and she's just walking. Everybody's just looking at her, looking at them like, are you crazy? Soon after, the Starbrights packed their stuff into their now empty boxes, loaded up the car, and left Boxville for a new town called Freedom Land. The sign said, "Welcome to fabulous Freedom Land. This way." So, Wendy did not know what she wanted to be when she grew up. She didn't know if she wanted to be an athlete, a diplomat, a writer, actress. She didn't know, or a guitarist, or a basketball player. She didn't know what she wanted to be. And everybody was pressuring her, basically trying to force her to pick what she wanted to be when she grew up, which is not good. And it's kind of boring if you just pick one thing to do for the rest of your life. Like, her mom and dad, that's all they could do. Her mom could only be a mom, and her dad could only be a dad. You hear the cat. Her teacher could only be a teacher. The police officer could only be a police officer. So if you think about it, if you wanted to be, let's say, a teacher. If I wanted to be a teacher and I lived in Boxville, I couldn't be a mom. I could only be a teacher. Or let's say my husband, if he lived in Boxville, he could only be a mailman. That's it. So, it's not very ideal to just do one thing for your whole life, right? It wouldn't be very happy. You wouldn't be happy. You'd be like Wendy. You'd be like, I don't want to do this. So, let me tell you a story. When I was little, I wanted to be a vet because I said I wanted to help animals. I loved animals a lot, and I wanted to be a vet. So then I got in high school, and I said I wanted to be a nurse. Okay? Nurses make lots of money, so I wanted to be a nurse. Got to college, started taking nursing classes. I'm like, this is not for me. So I switched to teaching. So you can change your mind as many times as you want. My friend, she changed her mind 3 times just in college. And when she was in high school, she wanted to be a teacher. And so when she got in college, she switched 3 times. So it's okay if you keep changing your mind. You don't have to pick something right now. But if you do have an idea of what you want to be when you grow up, I'd love to hear it. I'd love for you to tell me. we were gonna have this big project where you picked a profession and you wrote you told me a little speech about it, and you were gonna draw and color a poster, and then your parents were gonna come in and listen to it. But that got all thrown out the door, right? So if you do know what you want to be, if you have an idea, let me know, okay? All right, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. I love you.